You see, every one of us, we all have a superstar inside of us. It's that quality, and you have to embrace it because, like I'm passionate about fitness and bodybuilding. Everybody has a different passion. Embrace it because that makes you powerful. It's all about within yourself. Do not compete with other people. Compete with yourself. That is so important because I always say that everybody's handicapped one way: emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually. Nobody's better than anybody, but it's all about that personal power. If you do something you really like, embrace it. Don't listen to the naysayers that say you can't. I was told my whole life you can't. But I love getting knocked down, getting up, and overachieving these obstacles because the sky's the limit. We're here for a short time, so don't waste any time. Just, whatever passion you have, just embrace it.
Anybody else just smiling? Just like, oh my gosh, I feel like you are such an inspiration, and I'm really glad that you've touched on a little bit of this because there are kids growing up now who are thinking, what do I want to be when I grow up? And a lot of kids have a lot of talents, and when a teacher gets in touch with a Comic-Con and says that we have a pupil who is really talented and we don't know how to get his work recognised, but he is really good, that really gets me because this Comic-Con, we are fans and we run this Comic-Con for fans. Like, we are so passionate about this. And Oscar, can you come here? Oscar's teacher.
She's not going to bite you, don't worry about it.
Don't worry, come round, come up. See, this is why this is so amazing because we received an email with some pictures of some original characters and some well-known characters that Oscar's drawn himself. And I know, Lou, I've researched you, I've seen you on other cons. I know that you've really overcome every obstacle that you can and you're really passionate about what you do. And this little, like this guy, he is so talented at what he does. And what I would like to do now, get ready for this, we're going to get Lou to sign the picture of the Hulk that you've drawn right here on camera so that people can see it.
What's your name? Very nice meeting you. This is what I call talent. This is great. Keep up the great work, keep evolving. I think you may be the next Steven Spielberg. Down Hulk smash.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Good job.
Keep following your dream, you're really good. And there is the Hulk signed your Hulk.
You see, this one I'm talking about many years ago when I used to read comic books. People would laugh at me while you're reading comics and drawing beautiful pictures like this. That's why back then it was a great passion because that's why today, because we have the Comic-Con, this show is not really just a comic convention, it's a pop culture because it's great for all generations. You can shop around, and especially there's nothing to do with drugs, sex, and violence. It's all about positive living. And also about it's exhilarating because you learn so much about the movies and television, and especially family, grandparents, and children get a chance to spend time together as a family, enjoy the beautiful pop culture like the show.
I just can't stop smiling. So, Lou, when you starred in a film with Arnold Schwarzenegger, you are bodybuilding supremo, fitness. You sound like you should be a life coach, and motivational speaker for millions of people. And you were the Hulk, and you voiced one of the characters on Adventure Time.
Yeah, I play the character of Billy, Adventure Time. It's a great series for
it's awesome.
Animated for children.
Any Adventure Time fans in? Awesome. It's brilliant. Like, seriously, give it a go. It's really cool. What would you say is the highlight of your entire career?
I would say the highlight of my career when I won the Miss Universe. I was the youngest person to win at 21. Most people never dreamed that I would win this title, because that was a dream of mine. Because when I won the Mr. Universe, it made me realize that achieving this dream, I could go further. I could become a champion and whatever I choose to do, because my whole life I used to tell friends of mine, I want to be a bodybuilding champion. They would laugh at me because I was tall, I was skinny. So I constantly worked on my weak points. I kept training day and night to prove to me that I could do it, because when the world see me win the Mr. Universe, then I started to gain the respect I wanted.
Mr. Universe. I mean,
21.
21 and Mr. Universe. And I'm just thinking, you know, if the aliens were to come and attack, like there are so many films that, like, you know, Independence Day, and they're making sequels and prequels and all that. Could we count on you to defend the human race?
Sure.
Hey! Yeah,
I have to tell you a funny story. When I was about 21, I was training for the Mr. Universe competition, and back in New York, I was training to get a suntan. This was around the month of October. So I drove at the time a Volkswagen. I had a green Volkswagen. Everybody thought I took the front seat out. I was sitting in the back seat. At the time, I was 280 pounds. So I went down to the beach to get the suntan. I'm driving around. I can't find a parking spot. 2 or 3 times, I said to myself, I have an hour left, because, you know, it was in the fall season. So I looked around, nobody was around. I saw a small car, like a Dapper B210. So I went in front of the car. I lifted in front of the car 1 foot towards the middle of the street. Then I went back of the car. I did the same thing till I moved that car to the middle of the street. Then I took my Volkswagen and parked it into the spot. Then, this guy comes running and screaming at me. The Jewish guy, got a rabbi, foaming, screaming at me. At the same time, there was a police car that came around. I said to myself, I really got a problem here. So the officer gets out of the car and looked at me, see the small guy about 5 feet screaming at me. And the officer says, what happened? The guy is screaming. The officer, the guy who's screaming, got a ticket for double parking. He got a ticket for disturbing the peace, and then he got a 3rd ticket for assaulting a police officer. I got my suntan. I wanted to share that with you.
So you can move cars?
Yeah, I used to lift cars years ago. I was the world's strongest man. I used to bench 560, you name it.
Okay, I can't even lift a double bed. That's scary how strong you are. Aaron, in the audience, who's got a question for Lou?
I know you said that you're always competing with yourself, but out of you and Arnie, who can lift the most?
No, I'm much stronger than Arnold. Arnold bench. No, don't get me wrong. Arnold was a strong guy in his prime. He benched like 440, 430. I benched like 560. I'm bigger than him. But I competed in the first world's strongest man. I beat Franco Colombo in the car lift at 2,600 pounds, and I won the steel bar band. And at the time, I was filming the Hulk. I never trained for it. But if you ever get a chance, go on YouTube, the world's first strongest man competition. Check it out. You see my competition. So that was like a world record at the time.
Hi, did you ever shit anybody up in Hulk when you were all dressed up? Did it take anybody by surprise? Shit.
That's a good question, yes. This was the second season, and I'd be the first one on the set, the last one to leave. Go to like 2 o'clock in the morning, I told the makeup person, I said, forget about it, I'm gonna go home with the makeup on, too tired. So I drove home with the makeup on, and I looked up, I'm on the freeway, and there's the SUV next to me, and the guy turned around, he started screaming, holy, like screaming, and his SUV hit a bus. And I'm driving, I got the eyes and teeth, I'm saying to myself, I better get home, because if I get pulled over, how I explain it? The poor guy crashed his car. Unfortunately, I got home, but I'll never do that again.
I think I would have died.
Yeah. You played a double role in a Hulk episode as yourself and as the Hulk. I was just wondering, was that easy for you to do?
I think that episode called King of the Beach. I play myself when I play the Hulk. It's very hard because I had to go in and out of the makeup like twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day to reapply the makeup because I was playing myself being a bodybuilder trained for a contest. Then I confront the Hulk. It was tough. It was my first acting role, and it was the highest rating episode on the entire TV series. I had a lot of fun doing that because it was the first time as an actor, and I had a chance to play on the split screen.
I'm a big fan. What's your #1 tip for building muscle?
The #1 tip for building muscle, 3 secrets. Eat right, train right, sleep right. Rome was not built in one day. To be very patient. And the #1 word I use all the time is consistency. When you want to build muscle, you don't want to overtrain. I would say for the average person, like 3 times a week, maybe 8 to 10 sets, 3 or 4 sets per body part. Like you start with the lower body, build up the upper body. That's in the beginning stage. But the most important thing is eating right. You have to eat protein and vegetables and fruit, like a balanced diet every time you eat. And also you need the proper rest. That's the 3 main secrets.
I want to see you like Hulk next time.
Don't you love this woman? Is she doing a great job here?
I love Hulk.
She's so excited. Look at her. She's blushing now.
I was just wondering if you were still in touch with any of the pumping iron crowd from back in the 70s, and do you miss that era?
Yes, I see him all the time, and I see Arnold around, I see Franco, and Arnold's like 71 now, I think 70, still working out. I mean, we're still here because a lot of the bodybuilders have passed on, and it's important we stay together. It's like a brotherhood. And at the time when I competed with Arnold pumping iron, we had nothing. Did you know first prize for Mr. Olympia was only $750? We all had to work. It wasn't like today. Today, if you win the Mr. Olympia, you can make much like $150,000, $200,000 if you win the prize. Plus, you do post an exhibition, and then you get do autographs and exhibition. You make a lot of money. But in our time, we really had nothing. All we had was bodybuilding. That's why when pumping iron was made, it could never be duplicated because it's never the same today. We had nothing. We brought that beautiful personality. It was the camaraderie. Now, I got a question here. How many of you work out? Raise your hand. Oh my God. You better get to the gym, do some exercising. We want to get you healthy, baby.
If you were asked to make a new series of The Incredible Hulk, would you?
I doubt if they ever do it again because everything is CGI, but I think the original series is going to be something like Twilight Zone, like Star Trek. I think they'll never have a human Hulk again because it's going on now with the CGI. But I move on because I've done over 40 films. As a matter of fact, I filmed last year at the Lee's Castle. I did a comedy of Game of Thrones called Persian Throne. So if you get a chance, check it out. And I also did another film in Bristol 2 years ago called Instant Death, about this guy from the Special Forces. They harm his family. He seeks revenge. So I had a chance to film in the UK. It was a lot of fun. But you know what's funny about the UK? I'm amazed by the people. The people are so nice. The British people, they have a different way of bonding. You noticed it?
We're very touchy-feely, aren't we?
It's great. I mean, in California, where I live, I don't even know my own neighbor. At least over here, that people are just genuine. They're sweet. That's important.
Well, up north, we're awesome, aren't we?